US Citizenship Mock Interview. In this video, I will do a US Naturalization Interview simulation, just like the one conducted by USCIS. I will go over the questions in the N400 application, small talk, civics test, and English reading and writing test. You will listen to questions and answer them yourself, and then I will provide you the questions and sample answers. You can download them at this video's comments and correct some answers with your situation. Please watch and practice this video many times to reach your American dream. Samir Kaber. I am Officer Summer, and I will be conducting your naturalization interview today. Nice to meet you. Please follow me. Please place your belongings next to your chair and remain standing. Before we begin the interview, I'll need to place you under oath. Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can put down your hand and take a seat. Do you know what you just promised? Good. How are you today? Have you been waiting a long time to talk to me? How did you come here today? How was the traffic getting here? Did anyone come here with you? And where is she now? Did you have any problems getting here? Did you come here voluntarily? Do you know how to use a tablet? Do you have any questions before we start? Thanks for letting me know. I will go through the application later, and when we get to that section, please bring up the changes. Tell me why you want to be an American citizen. What is your basic eligibility to become a U.S. citizen? Have you been feeling anxious about this interview? Don't be worried. Stay calm and you will be fine. Can you show me your green card, your passport, and a state-issued ID, please? This is your 10-year green card, correct? Okay, that's not a problem. Let's do the civics test. First, I will ask you up to 10 questions, but you only need to answer 6 correctly to pass the test. First question, who does a U.S. Senator represent? Correct. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? That's right. Why does the flag have 50 stars? Good. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? Correct. Name one right only for United States citizens. Good. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? Okay. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? Good job! You answered 6 questions correctly and passed the civics test. Let's move on to the English reading and writing test. Please look at the tablet in front of you and read the sentence out loud for me. Correct. I will read you a sentence and I need you to write that down on the tablet. The president lives in the White House. The president lives in the White House. It's not correct. Please try another one. Citizens have the right to vote. Citizens have the right to vote. Good. You passed the English reading and writing test also. Now, I will review your application form to make sure all the information you filled in is correct. Please tell me your full name. Do you have any nicknames or other names? On the application, you have mentioned you don't want to change your name, correct? How did you become a permanent resident? When did you get your green card? How long have you resided in the U.S.? Are you requesting any accommodations because of a disability? What is your social security number? What's your date of birth? What is your country of origin? Are you still a citizen of that country? What is the best number to reach you? Do you have a different phone number at work? Has your address changed since you sent in your application? What was the reason for that move? Good reason. Please tell me your new address. Did you file the AR-11 form? You need to fill out this form within 10 days whenever you move. Is this also your current mailing address? Let me update this. Were your parents married before your 18th birthday? Is your mother or father a U.S. citizen? Where do your parents currently live? What is your height? What is your eye color? What color is your hair? Do you currently have a job? What kind of work do you do? Can you tell me where you work? How long have you worked there? What did you do before Route 21, Mississippi? What did you do before Kimball Midwest? What have you done since you came here? And what's your college major? What is the school's name? How did you support yourself when you didn't have a job? Did you receive any public benefits? Have you traveled outside the United States in the last 5 years? How many trips have you taken outside of the United States in the past 5 years? Did any of your trips last 6 months or longer? How many days in total did you spend outside the U.S.? When did you return to the United States? What was the purpose of your trip? So you haven't had any trips outside of the U.S. since you've applied? Are you currently married? On what date did you get married? Were you married before? What's your wife's name? What is the country your spouse is from? What is the date of birth of your wife? Where did you meet your current spouse? Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? Can you show me your marriage certificate? Does she live with you at your current address? How many times has your current spouse been married? Do you have any kids with your current spouse? Are your children biological to you? Where were your children born? Are your children U.S. citizens or permanent residents? Please show me their birth certificates. All right, let's move on to the next section. I'm going to move on to part 12. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Most of them are yes or no questions, and I may also ask you some definitions to test your ability to understand English. Have you ever registered to vote in any federal, state, or local election in the U.S.? Why not? Have you called yourself a non-U.S. resident on any tax return since you became a lawful permanent resident? Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen since you became a lawful permanent resident? Have you ever been declared legally incompetent or been confined to a mental institution? Explain to me what legally incompetent means. That's right. Have you always filed your taxes since you have had your green card? Do you owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes? Great. Could you show me your payment? Very good. Did you bring your tax return transcripts for the past 5 years? Can I see those documents, please? Have you ever had any hereditary title or an order of nobility in your home country? What is a hereditary title? Have you ever advocated the overthrow of any government by force or violence? Do you belong to any groups or organizations? What does the group do? Good. Were you ever involved in any way with genocide? Were you ever involved in forcing or trying to force someone to have any kind of sexual contact or relations? Did you ever participate in a vigilante unit? Tell me what vigilante unit is. Have you ever sold or provided any weapon to any person? Did you ever receive any type of military, paramilitary, or weapons training? Did you ever recruit, enlist, conscript, or use any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed force or group? Can you define enlist? Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in prison or jail? Did you commit any crime or offense? Have you ever sold or smuggled controlled substances, illegal drugs, or narcotics? What are controlled substances? Have you ever married someone to get immigration benefits? Have you ever married someone to gain something such as a green card, visa, or citizenship? Have you ever helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally? Have you ever been arrested, cited, or detained by any law officer for any reason? Please tell me what the reason was for that ticket. How did you resolve it? And how much was that traffic ticket? Did you bring the traffic documents with you? Have you ever persecuted any person because of race, religion, national origin, or political opinion? Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? What does mislead mean? Have you ever been removed, excluded, or deported from the U.S.? Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States? Please tell me an example of what public benefit means. Have you ever been placed in an alternative sentencing or rehabilitation? Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces? Do you support the Constitution and form of government in the United States? What is the Constitution? Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? What is the oath of allegiance to the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? What are non-combatant services? All right, do you promise that everything you said is true? Please make sure to review all the answers and confirm they are accurate. Then sign and date in the box at the bottom. Good job! Congratulations, you did it! I am going to submit your application form for approval. Do you have any questions for me at this point? It should be in a couple weeks, hopefully. Anything else?